The disappearance of Margaret Allen Fox, and yes, the phone call at the end of the story is real. This is a picture of Margaret, and she had just graduated the 8th grade, and she decided that she wanted to get some babysitting gigs. This all takes place in the summer of 1974, and Margaret lived in Burlington, New Jersey. Margaret put out her phone number looking for these babysitting gigs, and on June 19th, this guy by the name of John Marshall called her asking for her to babysit his 5-year-old son. The job was in Mount Holly, New Jersey, and Margaret's parents were kind of weird about it because she was only in 8th grade and she'd be traveling to a different city. But she gave them John Marshall's phone number, so they were okay with it. John had some babysitting stuff set up for her on a weekend, but he postponed it 3 times. Eventually, he called her again and said this time it was for real and he would pick her up in a red Volkswagen. Margaret told her parents that she would call right when she got there, but no call. A few hours went by and still no call. And she was supposed to be home at 2:30, but then she didn't show up. And then hours went by and she still didn't show up. Part 2 coming now. Part 2 of the disappearance of Margaret Allen Fox, and yes, the phone call at the end of this story is real. So Margaret is missing and they have not heard from her. So they use the phone number that she left them and it starts ringing. A lady picks up and Margaret's mom asks, is somebody by the name of John Marshall there? And she's like, there's no one here named John Marshall. And the lady hangs up on her, and so they start freaking out again. So they call the phone number again, and yet a different voice picks up this time. And so it turns out that phone number is the phone number of a payphone outside of a store. It was all so suspicious, but then they found out that the manager of that store, his name was John Marshall. One of the cops actually knew this John Marshall, and he said, it's not him, trust me, he couldn't have done it. And so they quickly just ruled him out. Once the media got wind of what was going on and spread the news, a lot of other people said that they also got the same call from a guy named John Marshall for fake babysitting gigs. This goes to show that this was no accident, no coincidence, and Margaret was targeted. Last part, part 3, coming right now, and yes, it has the phone call in it. Part 3, the last part of the disappearance of Margaret Allen Fox, and yes, the phone call at the end of this video is real. So Margaret was still missing. It was clearly not a coincidence. She was targeted by this guy going by the name of John Marshall. Margaret's parents have no idea where she is. They are worried sick, and the only way that they had to contact her was the number of that random payphone. Which I don't think is such a coincidence, but you can decide that in the comments. But one night, Margaret's parents are just sitting around the house and they get this phone call. It is from a man who is supposedly connected with the whole Margaret thing and demanding $10,000 to save her life. Here's the phone call.
$10,000 might be a lot of bread, but your daughter's life is the buttered topping.
Who is it?
$10,000 might be a lot of bread, but your daughter's life is the buttered topic? Who talks like that? Also, this is what scientists think that she would look like now, but we don't know. Now Margaret would be 60 years old, and if you